Kakadosh Boker Tov. This is Siman Tav Kuf Pe Aleph Sif Bet. If you remember, there's a minhag that many people will come and they'll fast on Erev Rosh Hashana. One of the reasons is brought down in the Midrash that if they're going to fast on Erev Rosh Hashana, then they humble themselves. So therefore, what's going to happen is that they're going to be forgiven for a third of their sins. And then again, we are going to do it during Tzom Gedaliah. And then again, when we're eating on Kippur, and then we fast on Kippur. So therefore, it's going to come and it's going to atone for our sins. Today, there's a minhag, and that obviously Gimel says that we're not going to do tacharunim. Why don't we do tacharunim? Even though we did tacharunim in the shachrit, in the selichot, but we don't do it in shachrit. And the reason why is because it's going to be a Yom Tov at the end of the day. We do not come and say tacharunim whatsoever. We don't mention any concept of sins on Rosh Hashanah, and therefore we do not say nefilat apayim. Siv Dalet says that we're going to come and wash our clothing and take haircuts, right, to groom ourselves. This is going to be for Erev Rosh Hashanah, because we are certain that we're going to have a good deen, a good justice, right, in a court case, Bezrat Hashem. Now, to do with today, there's going to be a few halachot. First of all, there's halacha of doing tevilah b'mikveh, right, which we already mentioned. We're going to purify ourselves. It's a mitzvah before any regel, right, before any time, and especially during Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, to purify ourselves. The second one is going to be going to the Bet HaChaim. So now there's two different reasons. One of them was because of the Kivret Tzadikim. But another one was not only the Kivret Tzadikim, it was because that we're humbling ourselves and we realize that at the end of the day, Sifrei Chaim Umetim, right, that the book of life and death is right in front of us. So according to that, even if there's no Tzadikim around, right, there's still an inyan to go. Usually they would go, especially if there's going to be somebody has parents there or other things, they would go because again, this is part of the humbling oneself right before Rosh Hashanah. Another concept is going to be Hatarat Nedarim. So we already said that we're going to do Hatarat Nedarim, and it's actually brought down in the Halakha that do not think that if you're one of the Dayanim that's going to be sitting down, that it's Kilu, that it's not your Kavod. The opposite, you're doing Chesed, and Chesed is one of the most important things that we're supposed to be doing during the time of Elul and Rosh Hashanah. So because of that, it's important that people shouldn't just say, okay, fine, I already did my Hatarat Nedarim, and then I'm the first one that I'm running outside. No, you could also do chesed for other people in order to come and to sit down, and that will actually be a very good thing for the Yom Adin, for the day of judgment. So again, this is going to be for Rosh Hashanah. Just the last thing, just to remember, this afternoon, right, anytime throughout the day, try to do Eruv Tavshilin. Remember that since it comes out, the concept of Rosh Hashanah comes out 2 days of Rosh Hashanah and then Shabbat. So what happens is you have to prepare, right, for Shabbat. The only way to prepare from Shabbat, which is basically from Yom Tov to Shabbat, is by doing Eruv Tavshilin. So you take, let's say, bread or a matzah, and you're going to take an egg, a hard-boiled egg, or another type of a food. And what you do is you're going to say this beracha, and you're going to say this prayer, right, that we already sent it out. And by saying this prayer, you're basically permitting that you're allowed to cook, right, from, or prepare, or do any preparations from Yom Tov to Shabbat. Now this is going to be very, very important, but do not eat it until Shabbat, which means if I'm going to take, let's say, bread, and I'm going to take the egg, and now on Friday morning I ate it, if I already ate the eruv, I can't use it anymore. So you have to make sure that you do not eat it until Shabbat. The minhag, says Rav Ben Zion, is to eat it, whether it's going to be on Shabbat morning or Sudash Lishit, but if you already did one mitzvah with it, which is Eruv Tavshilin, so then do another mitzvah, which is going to be whether you're having it for Shabbat morning or Shabbat afternoon. So these are just a few of the halachot that we're doing. Again, all of a sudden, just to pay attention to all the different halachot that we're having throughout the entire day, because there's a lot of halachot. The last one is going to be a segula. The biggest segula, it's actually brought down, and we sent it out also in the chat, if you remember, is that to say Parashat Bikurim this morning. Why are you going to say Parashat Bikurim? You're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything. Just like the Bikurim, the first fruits, you come and you thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us the first fruits, so too you're going to come and you're going to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything. When we do that, what happens is HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us with a lot more for the next year. So this is again the different segula that you should say this morning, right? You have it on the chat, and Bezrat Hashem, we should all be zochet to Hashana Tova u'metuka.